we take you to Parliament. Of course, when the Treasury CS will be reading that budget statement, and we'll cover that for you from wall to wall. All right, time now to begin our discussion tonight. Governor Jackson Mandago is already with me. I'm speaking to him shortly, but let's take you back to the year 2017, to the date today. Take a look at the bold newspaper. The headline then, and you learn the more things change, the more they remain the same. Years later, look right at the top of the Standard newspaper before we go to the headline. The right at the top says, a joint Raila-Kalonzo ticket is team's favorite. Working document shows team's preference for coalition lineup is Odinga at the helm with Kalonzo second, and offers House top seat to Wetangula and Chief Minister to Moses Mudavadi. Of course, Moses Mudavadi have seen, and Moses and Wetangula and Mudavadi have since moved on, but it's the same thing. A joint Raila ticket today at the Wiper meeting. Kalonzo actually said that he's confident. Some things are obvious. Of course, away from that, let's take a look now at the top story in the Standard then. To the day today, Ahmed Nasir, senior counsel, foreign trip saved me from killers. Lawyer accuses DCI boss of instructing a police death squad to kill him over multi-billion shilling land case, but Ndegwa Mohoro, then the DCI boss, dismissed the allegations as total lies by a man who is running broke. That's how he described the senior counsel, Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi. Of course, that was the headline of the bold newspaper. Then, direct ticket, forget it. President Uhuru Kenyatta declares nominations for ODM parties handling how direct nominations still happening right now. Even then it was happening. Even Jubilee, President Uhuru Kenyatta dismissed it then. Now that was then the bold newspaper back in 2017 to the date today ahead of the August 9th general election. All right, let's come back now to studio and speak to Governor Jackson Mandago. Governor, good to see you this evening. Welcome to News Hour, first time on the show. Governor, I'd like to ask you a direct question as we begin the show, because it's a concern. This is a subject of investigations with the DCI, but I just want to know what you know. Were you aware that there were plans to pelt Raila Odinga's chopper using stones by the youth who attended the burial of the late Mzee Jackson Kibor?
Thank you very much, Ken. Let me say on the answer that first and foremost, I was not aware that the Right Honorable former Prime Minister Raila Odinga would be attending the funeral of the late Jackson Kibor until around 5:30 when I saw two helicopters coming and was informed that it's a former Prime Minister. So we didn't have knowledge or that there were any youths who are going to pelt stones to the helicopter of Honorable Raila Odinga.
Okay, a day before the funeral, Governor, Dennis Onsarigo, who speaks from the Secretariat, actually tweeted, and the media houses actually carried the story that Raila Odinga was going to attend that burial ceremony.
Ken, you know, not all of us are on Twitter daily. Some of us are rare visitors to the Twitter handle.
So what you're telling me, Governor, is that you only learned that Raila Odinga was coming to the funeral at 5:30 p.m. The whole day there was no indication that Raila Odinga, I mean, you're pointing out to the fact that this could have not been planned. The security agencies tend to disagree. They say this could have been planned.
I can tell you, Ken, I've been the governor of this county. I'm now going to my 10th year. I know the leaders in this county very well. And I can tell you none of these leaders has any intention or even imagination of planning any violence against any political candidate in this county.
In effect, you're saying that the investigations that are underway are not likely to yield anything because there was no plan, Governor. There was no plan, absolutely, to pelt Raila Odinga's chopper.
There was no plan, Ken, and we cannot say that the investigation will not yield anything. Definitely the investigation will yield who exactly stoned the chopper. But in terms of whether there were leaders who had planned or it was pre-planned, I can tell you that is not possible.
Okay. You made a statement straight after that and you condemned this attack. Deputy President William Ruto even went further while making the apology to say that any member of your party or Kenya Kwanza that would be found to have been behind this will actually be denied a ticket. You think that's a fair way that these people should be treated if any leader would be found culpable?
Definitely can, because as a political party, we in UDA don't believe in any violence. We've even said that even within UDA as a party, any candidate who will be found to be using violence against their opponents will definitely be disqualified. That is in our nomination regulation, and we as a party would want to follow all our nomination rules to the letter.
That is your county governor. Have you taken steps personally as a governor to find out who could have been behind this, who would have sponsored the youth who the police say were found with money? Have you done anything about it apart from condemning that act and obviously for the apology that was rendered to the ODM leader?
Ken, you know that as a governor, I don't have institutions that can help me investigate and find out who did what. But on my capacity as a governor, when I was informed of the incident, I called the county commander of police in my county, Mr. Ayu, and I asked him that that is something that as the governor of this county I would not want to entertain. And I asked him that they really needed to move with speed and take action. I also spoke to the OCS of Soy Police Station, whose jurisdiction is within the area the incident happened, that they also need to take action. So we are relying on the police, because that is their mandate, to investigate who could have been behind this incident.
Okay. This was a space that this act should have not happened, but we're heading into an election. Governor, your assessment of political temperatures, not only in your county, but probably in the South and North Rift and elsewhere in the country, do you think this is something that we are likely to see going forward, or politicians to be a little sober in the manner in which they handle these cases?
I can tell you, Ken, that that is an isolated incident. If you can recall, the Right Honorable Prime Minister had a very huge rally in Eldoret town and in the CBD. And I think for the first time, you'll agree with me that Honorable Raila Odinga addressed a multitude of people in Eldoret town, contrary to the expectation of so many people. And the function was absolutely peaceful. That is an isolated incident. I can tell you the entire Rift Valley, there is nothing like temperatures. In fact, I can confidently tell you we are operating at room temperature.
Room temperature. If Raila Odinga was to fly to your county today, would the reception be a little different? Are you confident that he will fly in and fly out?
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about your manner of politics, because even listening to you tonight, Governor, you have a mantra in politics stemming from 2017 general election, when you first made the analogy of the lungs and heart. And this is the reason why I'm asking you about the political temperatures. You saw it and said, don't put politics in your heart, put it in your lungs so that you can exhale it whenever you need to. Does that still apply? Or right now, being an election year, you don't think that is possible? It has to, the backyards, the strongholds of these candidates must hold strong to them.
It applies throughout, Ken, because we can have political competition. It is not necessarily enmity. What we are saying is that during an election period, everybody will be aligned to a certain political persuasion. They will be aligned to a certain political candidate for presidency. They will even be aligned to a certain political candidate for an MCA position. But what we are saying is, after the election, we as Kenyans must realize that we have a life to live and continue doing what we have been doing. And so we don't have to develop very hard-line positions to the extent that even after elections, we cannot even afford to come together, have a discussion, or even during the election process. There would be nothing absolutely wrong to even share a table with somebody from Azimio, for those of us who are in Kenya Kwanza. In any case, politics is about persuasion. If you are on the other side of the divide, Ken, and I want to persuade you to come to Kenya Kwanza, we must have a sitting.
Is this a lesson you learned from 2017, and what was the lesson that you can help? Right now we are heading into an election.
What I have learned from politics, although I cannot claim to be a seasoned politician, is that, as they say, there are no permanent friends or enemies in politics. If you ask me to rephrase that, I would actually say that there are no permanent positions when it comes to politics. And Ken, you absolutely know that His Excellency, the former Vice President, Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, once said he will never support Honorable Raila Odinga. But today, what is Kalonzo Musyoka doing? He is supporting Honorable Raila Odinga. So don't be surprised, because from my observation, I've watched Honorable Raila Odinga for a while. Physically, he's in Azimio. But if you look at him closely, his heart is actually in Kenya Kwanza.
His heart is in Kenya Kwanza.
So don't be surprised. Any time you see him soon in a Kenya Kwanza rally, don't get surprised.
He is already a presidential candidate in Azimio. How would his heart be in Kenya Kwanza, Governor?
I can tell you, Ken, elections will be somewhere in August. And between now and August, so many things can easily change.
Are you telling us that it's possible
yes,
that...
in politics, a day is too long.
Okay. So are you telling us that Deputy President William Ruto can likely work with Raila Odinga in this election, Governor?
I can't speak for William Ruto, but I can tell you, if Raila Odinga decides to work with William Ruto will have absolutely no reason to refuse. Remember, we in Kenya Kwanza believe in building a united Kenya, believe in working with everybody who is like-minded, because our focus in Kenya Kwanza is first to deal with economic matters of this country and the challenges that Kenyans, particularly those who are in the lower levels of the ladder, to be addressed. And any other leader in this country who have similar persuasions, we absolutely have no problem working with them.
Under what arrangement do you think this can work? You don't speak for William Ruto, but you are a friend of William Ruto. You don't speak for Raila Odinga, but you're saying his body language is in Azimio. Under what terms will this be, Governor?
You know, Ken, we are in a season of political coalitions. If Raila Odinga today says Azimio wants to have a coalition with Kenya Kwanza, what would be the problem?
What would be the problem? He's already declared he's running for president. Governor, what do you know that we don't know that you want to tell us tonight?
I know what Kenyans know, that politics is in for a season. We have two presidential candidates at the moment. We are in a political competition. At the moment, it is Kenya Kwanza versus Azimio. We in Kenya Kwanza believe that we first need to address the economic situation of this country before other things follow. We hope our colleagues in Azimio will be persuaded to also think of how to address economic matters first before we begin addressing other political issues like constitutional changes.
Like constitutional changes. Let me ask you, Governor, you have gone for your second term and you're not running. What plans do you have post August 9th? What plans do you have as a governor who's run a county for 10 years?
Ken, I'm running for the senatorial seat for this county.
Is that not a conflict of interest? It's been argued the case is in court to stop governors from running for Senate seats, at least in the next election.
I don't want to comment on the case in court, but I've read the Constitution very clearly. There is nothing in the Kenyan Constitution that bars me from contesting for Senate or any other governor who has served a second term. Number two, Ken, this story of conflict of interest, I really don't understand where it arises from. Of course, I've heard stories in my county from my political opponents saying, oh, you know, the governor who has been a governor should not run because he is going to Senate to protect, you know, money has stolen and so forth. And I want to ask Ken, we all know as Kenyans that there are three institutions mandated to check the use of public resources. We have the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We have the Directorate of Criminal Investigation. We have the Auditor General. What stops today, for example, EACC to summon Mandago, even if he's a sitting senator, to explain a matter that touches on his performance of office when he was the governor? There is nothing absolutely that stops them from doing that. Secondly, Ken, I've been in office for the last 9.5 years. There have been audit reports, and I can tell you I'm on record as a governor who has never missed any Senate summon or appearances to the Public Accounts Committee. Why? Because I believe if you accept the responsibility of managing public resources on an equal measure, you should accept the responsibility of accounting for the same resources. And from where I sit, I can tell you, Ken, all the resources that came to this county, even without making references to any documents, I can account for at least 80%. So the issue of conflict of interest doesn't really arise. I think there are just a few politicians who are interested in doing a political elimination of some politicians who have been governors, probably because they are going to create competition now or in the future.
Governor, 2 terms as the county governor, don't you think it's enough of leadership where you are leading a multitude of people in Uasin Gishu to give them an opportunity to get other people to positions of responsibility?
I think, Ken, you are being discriminate because why do we have members of parliament who have been in parliament for the last 30 years? Why do we have members of parliament or senators who have served as cabinet secretaries, others principal secretaries? They are now members of parliament and they are aspiring to be governors. I think you are being, a number of people are just being biased, or for some reason they have some personal hatred on governors. If you ask me, my personal opinion, all second-term governors should actually contest for the Senate seat. And I can tell you, if second-term governors make it to the Senate, the performance of the Senate will definitely improve. Why? We have been the implementers of devolution for the last 10 years. We know the challenges that we have gone through as governors. We know the relationship that has been there between the Senate and the National Assembly and the Council of Governors has not been very, very good, therefore not giving a conducive environment for devolution to flourish. I can tell you, Ken, that the political will has made a 360-turn revolution. Why? In the next Parliament, Senate and the Council of Governors, we shall have people who have either been cabinet secretaries or senators who become governors, or governors who become senators, or members of parliament who become governors. And between the executive in national government and the county governments, we expect that the next phase of devolution will be a better phase in terms of development and in terms of collaboration between the various entities in government.
Do you think, though, they have a point that they are governors, forget about Jackson Mandago, they are governors who have had queries that have been raised regarding their governance of the counties? Do you believe that the proponents of that school of thought, not even on moral grounds, but just the fact that they have been in the top management of the county and now they want to go to the Senate, do you think there's a point there, though, Governor? Not speaking about you specifically.
I really don't agree, Ken, because if we had to follow that path, Why do we have members of parliament who have been mentioned and are still running? Why do we have cabinet secretaries who have been mentioned or even been taken to court and they are now contesting to become governors? Why are people so particular about only governors? If you ask me my opinion, we should allow the institutions that have been given the mandate to do the investigations, to do all those that is required to check the use of public resources, to do their work. And once one is found culpable and sentenced, the law and the constitution is very clear that you can no longer contest for all public office.
Okay. Looking at Article 96 of the Constitution, the roles of the Senate governor, as a governor 10 years, 9.5 now by August it will be 10 years, and you might just win that seat. What would you want to see different, not even in terms of lawmaking, but even the determination of allocation of resources to the county? Something that the governors, the first governors, the second governors have really complained about. What would you want to do differently in the Senate?
Ken, one of the things I would like to do in the Senate is first ensure that all the funds that are meant for the devolved functions are actually released from national government to counties. And I will give you two very particular ministries that I'm very keen on. The Ministry of Agriculture, whose functions are actually 95% devolved, and the Ministry of Health, whose functions are almost 95% devolved. If you look at health, for example, Ken, county governments manage more than 10,000 facilities in this country. If you look at the money that is being budgeted in national government for health, to the Ministry of Health, to run policy, and probably less than 10 hospitals, then it will be clear that there are resources that are still being held for in national government, meant for health functions in counties. If you look at agriculture today, Ken, I come from a county whose economy is driven by agriculture. Our farmers have been suffering. This year we bought fertilizer at a cost of 6,500. Fuel, we are now having issues. Why would Minister of Agriculture, for example, still be holding on to the funds meant for purchase of fertilizer? Why would Minister of Agriculture, for example, still be distributing seedlings for avocado, macadamia, for Minister of Agriculture? Why would Minister of Water, for example, be interested in, establishing small water pans in counties, functions that can be well undertaken by counties? They are devolved. It means there are resources meant for devolved functions that are still being held in national government. Two, Ken, having been a politician for this short period, I've managed to build relationship with so many politicians. One of the things I would like to do when I go to Senate is to try and improve the relationship between the Senate as a house and the National Assembly, so that the push and pull of legislation where we have the National Assembly passing laws that are anti-devolution comes to an end. And I can tell you, Ken, as we speak today, we have 67 pieces of legislation that have clawed back the devolved functions. And we need to rectify that. If there is anything good that happened to this country during the 2010 constitution making, is actually the establishment of devolved units of government. I can tell you today, Ken, even if you rank counties in terms of performance from number 1 to 47, even the 47th county will have done something national government would never do, even if they were given 100 years.
Okay. Did you ever feel that the Senate at some point were overstepping from their role in terms of oversighting the counties?
It's only one particular incident when they wanted to pass some law that was later declared unconstitutional. I think where senators wanted to establish a board to sit and plan development in the counties. Otherwise, in terms of Senate performing their oversight role, in terms of discussing the Auditor General reports, checking the use of the funds, I think that squarely falls on the Senate, and I absolutely don't find anything wrong. And that is why, Ken, as Mandago, I've never seen any reason not to appear whenever Senate summons me to the Senate, or when I'm required to appear before the Public Accounts Committee, because I believe we must also allow institutions to perform their mandates as set out by the law.
Okay, very interesting indeed. But that argument still stands, and let's try and see what the court will rule about it, because again, as you say, it's a little bit discriminatory based on Article 38 of the Constitution to participate in these political processes. But let me take you back to your party, Jubilee Party. The last few months, if not years, Governor, we've had a go at it between President Uhuru Kenyatta and Deputy President William Ruto, including today. You have a deputy governor. If you will stand to criticize your government under all fairness, would you work together with your deputy governor?
Ken, I don't speak for Uhuru Kenyatta or William Ruto. One, because we as a political party, if we go back to the history of formation of Jubilee Party, His Excellency the President, Honorable Uhuru Kenyatta, and Honorable William Ruto were the first principals who came together to establish Jubilee Party. We as politicians from different parts of this country who are aligned to TNA and URP that time, then followed what the party leaders did. We had a discussion, and we saw it fit, and we also agreed on consensus that yes, it is necessary to bring Kenyans together in one political party so that we don't have parties that are ethnic or regional based. And the reason why Jubilee was established was to actually bring Kenyans together in one formidable political party to enhance the issues of cohesion, as opposed to having political parties that are ethnic based or region based. And I can tell you today, Ken, since that time, we've never been called to any meeting to explain anything. In fact, I would say that part of the reason why Jubilee is no longer a very popular party is because politicians or members of Jubilee Party didn't have opportunity of meetings to discuss, and share ideas. I can tell you, you cannot run a political party and expect that there will never be issues. There will be issues from divergence of opinion, persuasions in terms of policies that you would want to pursue. But if an opportunity to ventilate is not availed, then you would definitely expect that members will get disappointed. And that is why Jubilee now is one of the most unpopular parties in the country.
Do you find, Governor, anything wrong in the manner in which Deputy President William Ruto criticizes the government he serves?
I don't think William Ruto criticizes the government he serves. He only sets the record straight. Because, Ken, this country has become a country where people forget things very fast. And I think it's absolutely necessary sometimes to set the record straight. I know people would feel that maybe William Ruto should not have said that and so forth. But you all understand that the functions of the Deputy President was transferred to some committee led by C.S. Matiang'i. So if you transfer functions from me today, then you can no longer hold me accountable for those functions. You can only hold accountable the person currently performing those functions. So you'd absolutely not expect that when people say William Ruto is responsible for this, if the function has been moved from his docket, then he can no longer be responsible for that. We can hold William Ruto accountable for the period he was responsible for the functions that were within his office.
If your deputy was William Ruto today, would you say the same thing you're saying tonight?
It depends on what I will have done to my deputy for him to say the things he's saying today.
So if you take responsibility away from him, he's entitled to say the things he said. For example, today, he said that state capture...
If I take responsibility away from him, Ken,
yes,
then I don't expect him to be accountable for anything.
If he said what...
And, Ken, don't go far. We've seen even other counties. Don't go far. We've seen other counties where the governor and the deputy governor are not working together, and the governor decided to withdraw all the functions. We've even seen counties where deputy governors have even been denied vehicles. Then, I would not expect a governor who has denied his deputy, including working tools, to ask him to appear in a meeting or to represent him in a meeting. I mean, if you have withdrawn my official car and you ask me to go and represent you in a function, do you expect me to go on foot?
If you're still drawing salary
you
from the
must
county?
resource me, give me the responsibility. Ken, you know, drawing salary in government, there is, for those of us who have worked in public service, if you remove functions from me, then I will continue drawing salary. It is up to you. If you think I'm not performing my work, transferring my functions are not a solution.
Today, I want to give you an example as I leave this topic, Governor.
Yes.
I'd like to give you this example.
Yes.
Deputy President William Ruto blames state capture and deep vested commercial interests in the government for the raging fuel crisis and the high cost of living, insisting President Uhuru Kenyatta could have done better. This is your deputy telling you, let's flip it and put it in the county. Is that not blame game? Is that your deputy not blaming where he is? Your deputy is serving?
You can look at it as a blame, Ken. But who said if I'm serving as the governor, that all the things I will do are right? If I do the wrong things, should my deputy just praise me because I'm the boss? Because the fact that somebody is your deputy, and even my deputy governor, does not remove from them a right to their personal opinion. I mean, the opinion of William Ruto is not the government position.
Would you want them to do this in a public function or to come to you, Governor?
Where matters have reached, Ken, I don't think it is reversible.
Okay.
Probably 2 years, 3 years ago, there was opportunity to do that and have a discussion in the boardroom. I think from where we are, I think water is under the bridge. We are now focused in the next election.
Okay. Where do you think the rain started beating them, so to say, in this relationship? Is it after the handshake?
I can't tell, Ken, because I don't have that information, but I can only say that after the handshake, it looks like the process was accelerated.
The process was accelerated, so probably it began long before that. Well, Governor, I'd like to talk about nomination. I see.
And you can recall that is also the time. You can recall that's the time when these cabinet subcommittees were formed, and that is when some functions were transferred from the Deputy President to these other committees of the cabinet. Okay.
I see you wearing UDA, you told me it's a work uniform, and the nominations are here, and every political party is likely to suffer from this or that. And one of the things that we have seen is negotiations going on at the back rooms and then emerging with one candidate. And this cuts across not only your political party, but we've also seen it in Azimio la Umoja. Is this not killing democracy, or you agree to this manner in which political parties are dealing?
It is not killing democracy, Ken. You know, first and foremost, every political party goes to an election with the hope of winning that election. And for you to win an election, you must consolidate your votes and put your best foot forward. If you have a possibility of consensus, then there's nothing absolutely wrong in having a consensus, because your focus as a political party is actually to win. Where political parties are building consensus for candidates, for example, governor candidates, is because that political party is desirous of winning that governor seat in that political party, in that county. And what they are trying to do is actually enhancing their chances of winning the seat.
Okay. If UDA would pick the senator, let's say Margaret Kamau today, and you want to be the senator, would you support him if they will tell you, let the senator who's been serving your county continue, we'll find you something in the government if we win? Would you feel that is not stifling democracy within UDA because you had a fighting chance?
Ken, you know, when we talk about consensus, it means parties have to sit. Candidates running for that seat have to sit, have a discussions, and agree. And where they don't agree, then they will have no option other to go for party primaries. And that is what exactly has been done in UDA. Mm-hmm. In counties or constituencies or even wards, where candidates feel they can have a discussion and build a consensus, they have been given an opportunity. And for counties, for constituencies where candidates don't want to even discuss about the issue of building consensus on a candidate, UDA party has said where we have more than one candidate, we shall definitely have nominations.
Okay. In your own backyard, Governor of Uasin Gishu, today we saw a section of aspirants complaining after your party, that's UDA party, there was a meeting that introduced UDA county election officials, and there was a lot of disgruntlement within your own backyard, Governor.
Ken, we had a meeting for aspirants from this county, and we had the county returning officers giving aspirants a brief. You know, in politics there is the usual suspicion of why this and that, and I think why a number of aspirants were so disappointed is actually we had one of the constituency returning officers who appeared in the meeting disorderly. And of course that created questions on aspirants on how those officers were picked. But those are matters that are being handled within the internal party organs, and I can assure you that UDA is doing everything within their means to make sure that the nomination exercises are free and fair. The assurance we have been given by our party leader that the nominations must be done in a free and fair manner. And where there is a reason to believe that the nominations were not free and fair, he has made a personal commitment that those nominations will be repeated until we have a fair and free process within the timelines that has been set by IEBC.
Do you feel the way it is currently, it's free and fair, Governor, and it will yield the desired results?
There are discussions within the party. We have had a meeting. We have raised our concerns. The National Election Board and the county returning officers have promised to go and look into them and give us feedback in the next meeting. What we are all doing is we also as aspirants have a responsibility in terms of making the elections free and fair. So we have had a discussion on the responsibilities of the aspirants and the responsibilities of the party. And I think the way forward that we came up together with, subject to discussions with the National Election Board, will deliver a free and fair nomination. And I've said time and again, Ken, we have a party leader who has committed and said party primaries must be free and fair. If they are not, they will be repeated. Of course, we all appreciate that, Ken, handling elections is not an easy task.
Because of your
political parties must always strive to make them succeed.
Okay. Because of your political stand, and you have been described as a sober politician, based on your outlook of issues of politics and the pronouncements you make on the political platform, it is said that there is a difference between you and the Deputy President's inner circle, made of, for example, Kapsaret Member of Parliament and Soy Member of Parliament. There's a difference. Is this true?
Ken, I'm not a political analyst, so I've not taken time to analyze we as politicians.
Is that a denial or an admission?
None of the above.
So you can neither confirm nor complain. However,
because Ken,
yes,
you are administering KCP.
Not really, Governor. The reason why I'm asking you this question is we have seen the inner circle. For example, I'll take you to Kisii. One of the staunch supporters of Deputy President there was my former classmate, Anthony Kibagendi, and he fought tooth and nail to market UDA, but he came out to complain about the insiders, Wenye party, insiders of the Jubilee party. And he's not the only one. He will say Domingo Magara left the party, plus a few other people who've left your party, saying there is a difference between the Deputy President's inner circle and most of the people who are trying to penetrate that circle, Governor.
Well, you know, myself, Ken, I've been running politics from the county level. I cannot really say what is happening there in Nairobi, but I can tell you this. There are also perceptions and issues that we must also admit. You know, when you form a political party, Ken, there are people who probably are founders of the political party, or people who are part of the process that form that party. That does not necessarily make them popular in their own backyards. Mm. And the Deputy President will not have a means, you know, of curtailing a candidate who is more popular than a party founder. So we must also agree that you can form a party. You can be part and parcel of the process of those who form a political party. But that does not necessarily translate to your popularity in your constituency, in your county, or in your ward. I mean, the public still has the mandate of conducting the election, voting. So we cannot say, because you are very close to the Deputy President, or you are part and parcel of the people who establish a party, then it goes without saying that you are the most popular candidate in your backyard or in your electoral area where you are seeking the public mandate. And I think that is probably part of the challenges we are also having as a political party, where we have members who have been very active, you know, supporters of the party for quite some time, but the reality of the election is something completely different. And all we know, and the assurance that we have had from our party leader, is that it's not the end of the world about election. There can also be other things that people can do to also participate in nation building without necessarily serving in elective positions.
Governor, I'd like to take our video of the week. Then when we come back, we will finish the show. But first, let's take a look at the video of the week, because this is, I'm not quite clear the character in our next video who he is, but he also reminds Kenyans, as we head into the general election, there are some of the things you need to consider. So let's watch the video of the week and then come back with the governor.
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our joy, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame. What a travesty. It calls for us to think and think deep. The The stage we are in as a country is not a stage where you become an onlooker. You have become an onlooker for too long. You must get ready to put your hands to the plow and be part of the process.
Governor Jackson Mandago, watching that clip and listening to that preacher man, do you agree?
Ken, I don't quite agree. The statements can be true, but it doesn't mean absolutely that all those who are elected as politicians are actually thieves.
Governor, you play very sober politics. I mean, this is something that is you choose. It's your choice to make. We are heading into an election.
Yes, Ken.
The choices we make, the choices we make heading into an election, the conscious choices we make.
Yes, Ken. You know, one of the things that we also need to understand that is, those of us who are in politics, we are in politics because we have a desire to make a contribution to this country using the political arena as our platform. And every politician who goes to an elective seat goes actually with an intention of making a difference in this country in terms of developing this country. I really don't think that there is somebody who decides to contest for a seat specifically because they want to go and steal. So I think when the statement is generalized that, you know, we are electing thieves, I don't agree with that statement.
Okay, Governor, as I let you go, thank you very much. This week we are coming to your county, Uasin Gishu County. We'll be there from Saturday, Sunday, and of course Monday with Kivumbi 2022. I hope we can look forward to hosting you on Kivumbi 2022.
Hopefully if I get some time, Ken. You know, our nominations is somewhere next week, and I'm also busy campaigning. But before I leave this studio, Ken, allow me to tell Kenyans that it is absolutely important that we observe peace during this general election, and Kenyans must always remember one thing, that the elections will come once in 5 years, but we have every day to go about our business. And life does not stand and end on an election period. In any case, even if you elect whichever government you elect, there is no government that will bring food to your table. Government's responsibility is to create a conducive environment for you to go about your life.
Indeed, Governor, and a very senior ranking member of your former party, Jubilee Party, has sent me a text telling me that you're a very sober politician and he wishes you well in your quest for Senate. I will not tell you who it is, but it is. And on that note, what do you think about Azimio la Umoja taking Raphael Tuju on the other side as executive director? To me, it's technically he's the Secretary General of that party if they form the government. What do you think of that, having worked with him in the Jubilee Party?
I think Raphael Tuju had no other job in Jubilee because, you know, Jubilee now is no longer a strong political party as it was. What we want ourselves in Kenya Kwanza is let Azimio assemble their team. As we are assembling our team, we meet at the ballot on the 9th of August.
All right, Governor, thank you so much for your time. Governor Jackson Mandago speaking to us from Uasin Gishu. We hope to see you, though, at the end of the week because it's very important. Kivumbi 2022, running from Uasin Gishu. I'm going to be down there together with my other colleagues, including Zubeida Koome, who's also going to be there to drive the Swahili agenda. So we hope to see you at that forum, because that is the stronghold backyard of Deputy President William Ruto, and we'd like to have that conversation from that end. So we hope to see you then. Thank you so much for coming tonight on the show on News Hour. My name is Ken Mijungu. On behalf of the whole team, we had earlier Meresha Owiti with us on sign language. We have to wish you a good night. God bless. But remember, tomorrow 7th is the budget day. We start broadcasting live for you from Parliament buildings right in the morning all the way to the afternoon, when the budget statement will be presented before Parliament, and we'll be looking through that budget with a fine-tooth comb to ensure that you miss nothing. And most important, what is in that budget for you as the common mwananchi. Right now, everything is expensive. No fuel, no milk, and all those things. We'll be looking at possibly what remedies the government is putting into place. And remember, one of the reasons this budget is also important for you, it's an election year, and of course it's the last budget under President Uhuru Kenyatta. Thank you so much for watching. Join our team beginning tomorrow morning, and obviously you'll get enlightened on the budget 2022-2023. Have a good night, and God bless.
KTN News. Get the whole story.